Hi grade 1, welcome back to the third lesson of music for this term. So last week we looked at how to hold three different notes, G, A and B. The week before that we learned how to set up our recorder. This week we're going to learn how to put it all together so that we can be able to look at music on the staff. So the staff with these 5 lines, whenever you see like this rectangular thing with 5 lines, with this treble clef or the G clef, that's the staff. So we're going to learn how to read it and to play what we're reading, because that's where music comes together. And this is something you do whether you're playing the piano, whether you're playing the violin, you're playing the trombone, the trumpet, even drums actually even use the staff, which is interesting. So let's get to it. Just as a reminder for what we did last term, we said that on a staff we have 5 lines. Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. We start counting from the bottom. And we have 4 spaces in between those lines. And we said line 1 is every, line 2 is good, line 3 is boy, line 4 is deserves, and line 5 is Fanta. So that means every good boy deserves Fanta, or every good boy deserves fudge, as long as it starts with an F. So we take the first letter of each of those words and we get the notes for the lines. So line 1 is E, line 2 is G, line 3 is B, line 4 is D, and line 5 is F. Alright, so those are our line notes. So let's start that off. Over here, so this is a quick shortcut. This is something that will always help you every time. So this is called a G clef, yeah? And the reason why it's called a G clef is because you see its stomach over here, this small stomach, not its back, but its stomach, it's wrapping around the G line. Alright, it's as if the G line is passing through its stomach. That's why it's called the G clef, because it's wrapping around the G line. So you'll always know that line 2 is the note G. Okay? And everywhere, wherever it is, it's always wrapping the G line. Even in number 2, it's wrapping the G line. Number 3, its stomach is around the G line. Number 4, its stomach is around the G line. Okay? So, that means any note on that line is a G. So we can see that these notes over here, all of them are on that second line. That means they're all G notes. However, the notes are different because we have different types of notes. So, when we look at our notes over here, we see we have a quarter note. So a quarter note is one where you cannot see through it because it's black on the inside. So that's like this. You can't see through this because it's black. You can't see through it. And that gets 1 beat. So, ta. We say ta every time we see a quarter note. The next one is a half note. Now this one, we can see through it. See that? I can see through it. And if you can see through it, that means it gets 2 beats, which is ta, ah. Alright, say it with me. Ta, ah. So we have 2 different types of notes so far. Quarter note and half note. We'll worry about that dotted half note next week. But the whole note, since it's over here, we need to know what it is. So the whole note, remember we said it was the biggest of them all. He's the big stomach dude. So he gets 4 beats. So when we see the whole note, we say ta, ah, ah, ah. 4 times. So let's do it again. Ta, ah, ah, ah. Those are 4. Alright. So, we have to put 2 things together whenever we're reading music. We have to know the note we're playing, and we have to know the type of note that we'll be playing. Okay? So the note, is it an A, B, C, D, E, F, or G? And once we know that, are we going to play it for 1 beat? Are we going to play it for 2 beats? Are we going to play it for 4 beats? When you know those 2 things, you're ready to start playing music. Now, we take our recorder and we apply those 2 things. So, I'm going to help you out. In this first bar, now in music, whenever we have a staff or a stave, we have different lines in between them. And that shows a bar. Think of it like when you're in prison, if someone is in prison, they're kept behind bars. They can't pass through the bars. And the same thing is here. They're not in prison, but these are the bars. So if I say, let's play bar 1, that's this bar. Because then bar 2 is the second bar after this line. So this line is a bar. So now we're in bar 2. Then over here, where we have the semi-breve, we're in bar 3. Okay, so bar 1, bar 2, and bar 3. And you'll always hear me and Miss Vanessa saying, alright, let's play it from bar 1, let's play it from bar 2. So, let's try bar 1. What we can see is we've got 4 quarter notes, okay, on the G line. So let's try and play this on our recorder. So what I'm going to do is, since we know it is G, what are we going to hold on our recorder? G. And how do we hold G? Our thumb at the back and our 3 fingers on hole number 1, hole number 2, hole number 3. My right hand is not here. My right hand is not up here. It's underneath. You can put underneath the 3rd hole or underneath the 4th hole. Okay? So, I have it in my instrument. I have 4 quarter notes and it's on the G line. So before we play it, let's just put our recorders down. Let's try and clap the rhythm, okay? So let's try and clap that. So we said a quarter note gets ta. Okay, so let's try and clap ta. Ready? 1, 2, 3, let's go. Ta, 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 ta. That's it. Only the first bar. You try it now. 1, 2, 3, say ta. One more time, let's go. Ta. Alright, cool. So 4 tas. So let's go back to our recorder. Pick your recorder back up. Hold your G, 3 holes. Make sure they're all nicely covered, not partially covered. Make sure your thumb is at the back. And now let's play G with 4 tas. Alright? So I'm going to go slow and I want you to follow me. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Alright, let me do that again. Do it with me. Alright, I want you to try it by yourself. Go. Ta, 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 ta. Again. 1, 2, 3, go. Ta, 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 ta. Alright? And even though it's a ta, remember we said we blow our recorder with do. So do, do. But we're thinking of the rhythm as ta, 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 ta. Alright, so that was the first bar. So let's go to the second bar. In the second bar we have a different type of note. We have a half note. So how do we clap a half note? We say ta, ah. So let's try that. Put your recorder down. Let's try and clap out these two. So let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Ta, ah, ta, ah. Again. 2, 3, go. Ta, ah, ta, ah. By yourself, let's go. 1 more time, let's go. Alright, pick up your recorders and let's go for it. So we're going to try and blow. It's still on the G line, because it's still not line number 2, but now we're just going to blow for 2 beats. Okay, so let's try it out. Grab your recorder, hold your G again, and remember when you're holding G, the more fingers you have on your recorder, the less air you want to use so that it doesn't become squeaky. So for example, if I'm holding my G and I put in a lot of air, it probably is blowing your speakers on your laptop or your iPad or whatever. So make sure you use little air so it sounds like this and not like, okay, big difference. We want it to have a nice tone. So let's try it out. So we're going to do bar number 2. Ta, ah, ta, ah. 1, 2, 3, let's go. 1 more time, let's go. By yourself, let's go. Ta, ah, ta, ah. Take a deep breath. You're going to do it 1 more time. Ta, ah, ta, ah. Good. Now let's try and get to the third bar. Now the third bar has a semi-breve or a whole note. And it gets the most beats. It gets 4 beats. Okay? So still on the G line. If you noticed, all of these notes are on the G line, whether it's a quarter note, half note, or whole note, they're all on the same line, the G line. So now let's try and play this semi-breve. We're going to play it still a G, but for 4 beats. So put your recorders down, let's try and clap it first of all. So ready? we're going to clap the semi-breve. 1, 2, 3, go. Ta, ah, ah, ah. One more time. Let's go. Ta, ah, ah, ah. All right. By yourself. Now let's go. One more time by yourself. Let me hear you. Good. As long as you have 4 beats, you're good. Ta, ah, ah, ah. So grab your recorders. Let's try and put it into music. So let's try and hold this for 4 beats. Grab your recorder and let's do it. 1, 2, 3, go. One more time with me. Alright, let me hear you by yourself. Let's go. Ta, ah, ah, ah. One more time. Now let's go. Ta. Good. If you can hold that for 4 beats, you're doing good. So now let's try and clap the whole rhythm of number 1, and then we're gonna try and play it on our recorder, okay? So let's try and clap it out nice and slow from the quarter note, from bar 1 all the way till bar 3. So let's try that out. So 1, 2, 3, let's go. Ta, 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 ah, ta, ah, ta, ah, ah, ah. One more time, let's go. Ta, 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 ah, ta, ah, ta, ah, ah, ah. Now let me see you do it by yourself. Let me see you say the rhythm. Go! One more time by yourself. Alright, we're almost done. So now let's try and put it on our recorder. So we're just going to blow the rhythm. All of it is on one note. It's just on G because it's all on the second line, okay? So let's try that out. And let's make some music. So grab your recorders, hold G, put it on your lips. Remember, we don't put it out. That's weird. Don't put it in your mouth. Don't hold baby position. Put it underneath the hole. And let's try blow it nice together. 1, 2, 3, go. Alright, let's do it again one more time with me, then you by yourself. Go. Alright, take a deep breath. Whew. Or not too deep because you don't want too much air, else it'll be a squeaky noise. But let's now try and do it by yourself. Get ready in 4, 3, 2, go. Ta, 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 ah, ta, ah, ta, ah, ah, ah. You by yourself with no help from me. One more time. Last one. Make it your best one. 2, 3. Let's go. And that's it. So if you have been able to read the rhythms and clap them out well, if you've been able to see that this is on the second line, which is a G note, remember that the G clef is circling the G line, which means that's why it's called the G clef. And if you've been able to play that on your instrument, then you have made some music and you are ready to keep going on as we keep learning new and new notes and different songs on the staff. So next week we're going to go through number 2 and number 3, and hopefully we'll see even number 4, and we'll try and make some music together. So really try and get that number 1, and we'll move through these a bit quicker next week. Alright? See you guys next week.